Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gen X to Z. I'm your host, Migs, and this is my dad, Phil.
Hello, everyone. It's me. Episode 4. Am I right?
Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, how's your week been?
It's getting busier, and that's good because we need to work, I guess.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's the beginning of the new year. Well, no, well, technically this is...
3 weeks on.
All right. In any case, so this time we're going to be talking about something a little bit interesting today. We are going to be talking about anime music, or more specifically, anime Italian openings and soundtracks.
Exactly.
Now, okay, so here's the thing. So I recently shared a playlist, well, not like a playlist per se, but like a list of composers with my dad, so that he can listen to some of the soundtracks that they have done and see what your first impressions were of them.
Yes, okay, yeah. First of all, I found it the whole concept completely different of my experience. It was a lot more innocent, meaning that I didn't know how grown up is becoming the industry. Yes.
Yeah.
So
like the anime industry.
Yeah, for me it was the opening title of a Japanese animation. It was something that it was catchy and sing it along as a child or young adult. But now it's becoming proper music. It's like it's not for a child anymore.
I mean, yeah, no, you can really tell how much animation in general has like evolved throughout the years, you know? Like now it's just suddenly, you know, like it doesn't just come with the, you know, how the story's being told or like how like, it's being presented, but also in terms of like the music, obviously. And one of my first composers called Kevin Penkin, which is the same guy that made the anime which I made a video about, which is like 2 years ago now.
Oh.
Yeah, Made in Abyss. And I know you haven't seen it yet, but I know for sure you've listened to it.
Yes.
Like, especially to some of the... Because I actually added some of the tracks in myself when I made that video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so, just so what were your first impressions of it?
I found it really interesting. Yes. I didn't know the soundtrack on animation it will be the same level of quality. Yeah, composer.
Yeah.
Of films. Yeah, we are talking about a quality that it will be used in any Hollywood movie. Yeah,
I mean,
no one will even notice.
Okay, because like that's the special thing about, you know, like music competition nowadays is that you can never really tell where they belong in a certain category. Like one time you would think that they're like a film soundtrack that actually comes from a video game, for instance, or whereas you would say, let's say like an anime soundtrack would look like something that would come out of like a TV show like Game of Thrones, for instance. Like, you know, actually like the series that I would say, you know, that carries the same vibe as Game of Thrones would be Attack on Titan. And let me remind you, the soundtrack is basically like, it's just like a pure like throttle of like it's like a roller coaster ride, you know, like where you listen to the soundtrack and how everything else culminates into how the scenes.
But of all of the list that you sent me, Attack on Titan, I found a bit different of the other. The other one, they have more like a more classical music composition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Attack on Titan, it was more like independent songs.
Yeah.
And I did not enjoy most of them. Sorry. One of them, the first one I heard or listened to, it did remind me to Mad Max. Fury Road.
Well,
yeah.
I would say that kind of does its job really well because Attack on Titan is generally more of like a pure action. There's later in the series it's more than that, but yeah, like initially Attack on Titan, like the beginning at least, is just pure thrills and like a non-stop, you know, like hype.
It's not as interesting or as a grow up of musically. Yes,
yeah.
As the other composition that I listened to.
I mean, yeah, it's just mainly there to just bring hype, which is pretty much how most series that has Hiroki Sawano as a composer, because yeah, when you look at his whole entire discography, most of them tend to sound the same.
Yeah, but it does not reflect the period when the anime was produced, it sounded to me more 80s. Yeah, with with a reinterpretation of
contemporary music.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, because here's the thing: because Attack on Titan is actually supposedly is like based on like ancient Germany. Like it's actually like it's set, like it's more. I know it's a more of like a fantastical take on Germany, mind you, but
it makes sense then. The guitar riffs of 80s continental Europe rock, they wasn't that great, even though everyone is gonna be upset now. But yeah. The guitar riffs of the 80s European rock is a bit on the cheesy side. Yeah. At the end of the day, even the American one, it was a bit over the top.
Well, even so, I would like to clarify that even despite it, when you hear these like on their own, they're not that much impressive. But when you when you hear them like contained with like in the scenarios that are depicted in the show itself, and then like I said, like it pretty much like helps elevate the score like within the how it's meant to sound.
Too connected to the image.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, speaking of 80s, I know there's also another one which I know you would think is like the biggest throwback to it, which would be Devilman Crybaby by Kensuke Ushio.
I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, like what I'm mostly interested in is how Kensuke Ushio, who's not only one of my all-time favorites, like in terms of music composing, but also how he manages to like distinguish himself whenever he does like a different type of show. Like let's say for instance like Ping Pong the Animation, which is basically a sports anime about table tennis. And one interesting thing about it...
we didn't talk about that one when we talk about the...
No, because like, okay, the thing is, Ping Pong it's kind of like the most abnormal sort of sports anime. I
didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, no, it was like, okay, it's pretty modern. Yeah, so yeah, it's so, but yeah, which is why I haven't heard of it. But yeah, moving on to the soundtrack. So one of the interesting things that he has done is that he made a sound of like a ping pong ball, act as like the percussion to like a track.
So he sampled the sound of the ball. There is probably the one of the okay. If we look at the ball of all different ball sports, the ping pong one is the one that has more the concept of like a guitar. Yeah. So it's a really thin layer of empty space that it vibrate on contact. Yeah. So it's basically a musical instrument.
I mean, yeah, like I would say that if you're willing to put into it, then yeah, you could really go very creative with how you can do with like an actual ping pong ball. Because it does, when you think about it, it actually does kind of sound like like you said, a musical instrument. Like one time I saw like a quick video of how like two guys were like playing like table tennis, and they made like the beginning of the Super Mario's theme. Yeah, just like. But
also, if you remember, because I remember playing ping pong with you over the years many times, even if you notch, so if the ping pong ball has a small defect, the sound change. So basically, you can have different sounds easily, just damaging the ball.
Well, yeah, it's all about sampling at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. Well, in any case, so yeah, Kensuke Ushio, like in general, so Devilman Crybaby, I would say it's like his most, like his more darker take on how he does his
composition. Really interesting in the music.
Yeah. Like, can you describe them to me, for instance?
It does remind me of a more like classical music of late 18th century and 19th century. Is really it does have a dark. You feel the darkness in it.
Yeah. Which is fitting of the series itself.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the whole thing works, and it does create the suspense, the creepiness. Yeah. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah. I would also, I would highly suggest you watch Devilman Crybaby yourself, because it's one of like. It's like one of the most like gruesome stuff you'll see out there. Like it will put like.
Find it any of the big.
It's on Netflix, and it's only like 10 episodes.
Netflix?
I mean, no, it's fine, and also it's only like 10 episodes, so you can like binge watch it in like a day.
Well, it's still Saturday late afternoon, so maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully. In any case, so there's another soundtrack in which I would say is the most classical sounding, which is Violet Evergarden by Evan Cole.
Yes, definitely. First, the moment I listened to that one, I thought about Wagner, and I thought about Waltz,
Yeah.
and I talk about the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and it did remind me something that we discussed previously of the obsession that they have in the Japanese animation with a specific period of Europe.
Oh
On the 19th century. And there are many references to that period.
Well, yeah, no, like it's kind of funny how like many different like interpretations of both European and Japanese tend to go hand in hand with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and and the same thing applies to like the series because Violet Evergarden, it's kind of like a period drama or something, which is why obviously they tends to considering it's when you think of period dramas, you obviously tend to think of classical soundtracks.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say that I would say like Evan Cole, out of all of the composers, he does like classical music composition like the most.
But tell me one thing. It doesn't sound Japanese, the name.
No, Evan Cole, because he's not Japanese at all. Like, same thing with Kevin Penkin. Like, he's, like, that guy's from Australia.
All right. So, we should have actually specified before. We are talking about Japanese soundtrack from animations.
Yeah.
But the composer, they are actually not necessarily
they're not always Japanese, no. But which is interesting considering how, like, this scope has now been widened in terms of, anime production nowadays.
So are you telling me that there is anime production that is not Japanese? Or they are Japanese company, but they is not made in Japan?
Well, okay, here's the thing. There are still strictly, animation studios in Japan that are full of Japanese, animators. But then again, like, when it comes to, like, the thing is, about the whole, like, animation process, it can take, like, up to, like, several different types of key animators, where to the point you have to go outsourcing. Because let me remind you, in the anime industry, it is, schedulings are tight and budgets are like very thin as well. So essentially they have to go to outsource to other like animators from outside of Japan, for instance, and of course, that doesn't necessarily comply to soundtracks themselves. There is always like like it's like a jungle out there when you're looking for like a composer that wants to that nails like the tone and themes of what the show represents.
It is more difficult, but even in the world of movies. There are not as many composers as there are actors or directors. Yes.
Yeah.
The number of composers that they make multiple film every year is the most common way to do it.
Well, yes, the same thing applies to anime.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not uncommon nowadays to whenever you hear like a certain type of show or movie composed by a guy that also does this and the other, then you would not be surprised and also anticipated for what they are going to bring to this, and that goes to my next one. Which is the composer of My Hero Academia, Yuki Hayashi, because he also did the composition of the volleyball anime that I mentioned to you, Haikyuu.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and I would say he does the way he like composes the music. It's one of these. Do you ever have like these inspirational moments you tend to see in in a movie and such, and the music directly correlates to that? That's how I feel about his composition in general. Because whenever I hear uplifting, because whenever I hear like to My Hero or the Haikyuu soundtrack. I mean, not only did bring the hype to some of the more action-packed scenes.
What you described to me right now, it did remember, and it probably will expose more my age, even though I was really young. But it's like Rocky 2.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, when Rocky Balboa climb up the steps in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Well, actually, nowadays there is a statue there, so if anyone wants to go and visit. But yes, that's what you are describing to me. The kind of music that is basically giving you energy. It's like basically doping. Even though it's not chemical doping, but it will trigger in your brain.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But like, it's not just like strictly just dopamine either. Like I said, it goes back the way Yuki Hayashi like composes like different soundtracks that makes it like his the soundtracks he does is mostly applied to very like very uplifting stories, and I think that pretty much like befits him as well because before he was a composer, he was actually like a ballet dancer. I thought like,
really?
yeah, no, I checked some images.
Well, actually, if it was classic ballet, the both they're always together.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say could really tell, where his main inspiration comes from because he really does want to, see what the best to bring up the best in people who want to become something more than themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. And of course, there's the "You Say Run," which I know you haven't listened to that, have you? No, because that's pretty much his most famous track out of his composition. Yeah, and so anyways, moving on to something else, which I guess is something that you're mostly familiar with, as the same guy that did most of, if not all of Miyazaki's films, Joe Hisashi.
Yes, that one. Probably everyone that's listening, even people that are not listening, they know about his music, even though they have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
Because they are as a long animation. We are not talking about episode animation, like film animation.
Yeah.
As from Japan, they are all of his products. Are the most famous. Yeah, I mean, it's no wonder because, Joe Hisashi, I would say he's one of the most, he's one of the most influential, composers, out there, in terms of, the Japanese music scene. And, I mean, it makes sense considering how much, the classical composings and, just let me remind you to all, we have, when in terms of music, we have, no theory basis on how to even make it. We are no musicians.
Yeah, pretty much. We have no...
I tried for many years with the mix, violin, and what else? And the drums and the singing.
Well, yeah, but even so, in general, I still do love listening to soundtracks of my favorite, not just in anime but also in my favorite pieces of media because it really does help to elevate how a certain type of scene would you feel and express.
You do have an incredible. I'm not trying to brag because he's my son, but you have an incredible, well-trained ear, and it became really, really obvious, really, really early on when you were complaining the music in the car, and then eventually we realized it was not the music in the car.
It was the audio.
No, it was us singing really badly.
I know. I just thought it was the audio quality because just so you know, Dad is a massive hi-fi nerd. Can you tell an interesting story about how you know this company that makes hi-fi stereos? So.
B&O, Bang & Olufsen.
Yeah, Bang & Olufsen.
Well, I started probably has to do with my career in architecture. So I always look for something that is more aesthetically pleasing, and it was always something that was catching my eyes. But there is a large collection in the house.
You somehow managed to gain a hyperfixation on stereo equipment when you were working on architecture.
Yeah, exactly. and they're basically everywhere in the house. You open the wardrobe and you find one.
Well, no, don't get me wrong. I know the same way because generally because if you don't know, I actually had we used to own a vinyl collection, but before I moved in house, it actually got stolen, and I just wasted hundreds of pounds buying some of the vinyls that I've been wanting to listen to for quite a while, but I couldn't because my the recorder couldn't work for any reason.
Record the turntable.
Yeah, the turntable couldn't work.
Well, one of the many that are on the house.
Well, I had my own, but the one in my room actually. But it doesn't work. I mean,
no, you just need a new head. That's it. A new stylus.
But right now I'm just.
But you have no records to listen.
Yeah, exactly. The only one that we've bought back was the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack.
For the third time.
Really?
No, okay. Because we bought it once. I bought it because you suggested to you.
Okay.
So if we are going back to the soundtrack, how incredible is Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah. That I know because this is one of the few instances where you've listened to the soundtrack before you even watched the show.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, and the fact is, like, I mean, yeah. Speaking of Cowboy Bebop, I would say out of all the soundtracks that I've listened to in anime, this one is definitely like one of like the most.
It doesn't need to be a soundtrack. It's just a great album.
Yeah, it's basically a jazz piece, basically. I mean, and it sounds good, like even when it's not affiliated with the anime whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and one thing.
We didn't explain why we bought it 3 times, because also we bought one for your cousin.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, actually, speaking of Cowboy Bebop, I want to mention the composer, like Yuki Anno, I believe that's her name. I believe she also did the soundtrack for Ghost in the Shell.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, but like not the.
I can confirm.
Okay, you can't.
Not the film.
The series standalone complex.
Yeah.
Like I highly suggest you check that out because
I did already.
Wait, you actually have?
No, I don't have it, but I listened on another. We can say Spotify.
Okay, well, I highly suggest you watch it regardless, because I would say it's one of the most interesting.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about the music, not the anime.
Yeah, no, but I highly suggest you watch it. Like seriously, you have a lot.
I remember I went to the cinema to watch The Ghost in the Shell
Film. Like the live action or the anime?
No, the anime.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I used to have the VHS. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Probably. Well, okay. Let's talk about VHS for 1 second.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Thing.
So there used to be a lot of VHS, and in many people's house, yeah. And then there used to be a lot of DVDs, and eventually we give them away. Okay. Yeah, to charities. And nowadays, you're not gonna find the VHS anymore. Well, but if you need a DVD, just go to a charity shop.
Honestly, like physical media, I would say, I wouldn't say. Okay, I would say when you talk about like physical media to most people, they would say it's dying. But right now, I think it's kind of making a bit of a turnaround. Actually,
yes, there is a big turnaround, especially the vinyl.
Yeah.
In the music business, but. Probably.
I mean, it's not like you see everyone with a Walkman nowadays, do you?
No, exactly. So it is working in parallel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is the streaming is too cheap.
I mean, yeah, it's too accessible nowadays.
No, it's not just that. It's too cheap. It's like if you want to listen
to pretty much anything,
if you just buy 10% of everything that you like, you're gonna need thousands and thousands of pounds. Is not practical. But what you really like, then you can.
No. That's the special thing about vinyl collection or CD for that matter.
Yeah, or
like
it's cassette,
at this point we're just talking about like a collector's item essentially.
Yeah, but no, there are actually new release even in cassette.
Oh yeah, no. I would say that even not just like music, but also like DVDs in general. Even though I'm not sure, like I've heard recent news that they're closing down Blu-ray.
Yeah, it never was as big as a DVD. But you know what I think?
What is it?
The more and more people in the future time they're gonna live off grid. Yeah, so
off-grid.
Yeah, off-grid, not connected to any services.
Damn.
It is like many other things becoming
obsolete.
No, obviously something that people are interested in because they want to remove themselves from all the services and the prices that are basically.
I mean, yeah, like we're just like going about like the state of we're just talking about capitalism at this point.
Yeah, no, but if you. Even with like we are talking about way too many brands today. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Let's put it another way. You can, in theory, live off the grid even in a large town if you have battery packs. Yeah. So you have battery packs, then you have solar panel that you charge the batteries, then you go some wind element and you charge.
Okay.
And then, but someone that will do that. It wants to be completely detached, so you can still have your internet on the phone, but you're better off to have your physical media.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense when you think about it, because not only do you actually own them, but also you don't have to worry about whether or not like the company behind them is gonna like decide, you know what, screw you, we're taking it down, and so is.
That's what's happening in many films and series in Netflix.
Well, yeah.
Or on Amazon, all of them, yeah.
Well,
so
yeah, but
it comes a moment that they're no longer available.
Well, yeah, but at this point, like I feel like they're just getting too big, where that hypothesis doesn't even apply. Like for example, like Steam is essentially like a digital library where you can like buy games at a certain price. You don't necessarily have to get a console and buy them on a physical meet.
But you own them.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the difference.
But if Steam goes
offline,
you don't have them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which I mean, okay, the thing is, okay, when you compare like let's say the company like Valve behind Steam, like okay, I know we're getting completely off topic at this point.
Yes.
I just want to talk about like
you're derailed.
Wow. Well, yeah. I just want to talk about like Valve for a quick second, because while I might not necessarily like be a diehard fan of them per se, I do have the respect that out of all the corporations that are out there in the world, the Valve is just generally cares. While they are still a company that cares for profit, mind you, they still do, acknowledge like the preservation of how games are tied into. I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point, but. In any case,
have a softer spot.
Yeah, I have a softer spot essentially. Anyways, like going back to anime music. So talking about So we're gonna move something to a bit different now. So we're just excluding ourselves from soundtracks now. We're gonna be talking about anime openings.
All right. Yes.
Yeah, because Dad sent me a playlist of Dad sent me a playlist of like Italian openings that are reminiscent of like again like anime from the time where he used to watch them.
Let's confirm to everyone. Obviously, I know them in Italian, but I'm 100% certain, and I can confirm that all of them also they have the Japanese version, and that was the original version.
Well, yeah, no, the same thing.
It was just exclusive.
But here's the thing, because like even before your time, there was this whole like English dub, theming, back during like the millennial era, essentially. Yeah, like during the like 90s, like you would never like hear like a non-Japanese like a theme, and when it comes to like broadcasting in America, for instance, and now it's just obsolete. Like the only time where I actually heard like an anime opening that's dubbed in English was coming from like an actual artist that is not inherently Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from an anime called Kaiju Number 8, and yeah, it's strictly and the entire like both the anime opening and the ending is made up both of foreign artists. Like the ending is from One Republic.
Right, but it was originally made by it was just done later when it was distributed in the United States.
Okay, like the series itself was made in Japan. Don't get me wrong, but both the opening and the ending themes they're all from both foreign artists, and to me it's not a very common thing, mind you. Like to me that. Yeah, obviously, because...
There must be a reason.
I mean, yeah, and I didn't really know why, so never really know why as to why they made that choice, but I guess it's just a more global appeal, basically. But yeah, in any case, to me it is quite interesting to see how even despite the English dubbed opening themes seem to be obsolete. Well, maybe it's mostly just Okay, I think this mostly goes out to like people who grew up watching anime in the 90s. They still carry hard nostalgia for them, and hence they still want to bring it to the main populace that it still exists. It's still a thing, But obviously, when you look at the state of anime nowadays, it's just not there.
It is a shame that we cannot actually listen to any of them, because obviously it doesn't matter in which language it is.
And also copyright.
And the copyright still exists. Yeah. But yes. Let's dip down and try to realize why. Okay, first of all, animation. It can be even the animation itself. It is not in any language because it's just a drawing. So basically, there is always voiceover even in the original production. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. That's why it was so easy in the 70s, 80s, 90s, to, especially in Italy, in France, in
Or the UK.
No, I don't remember.
Well,
seeing
I mean,
why probably even
well,
in the UK it was dubbed.
I mean, yeah, well, like, it would probably apply like the same thing in America, for instance.
Exactly. But also, we are talking about a country. We are talking about Italy,
Yeah.
where since ever. So even going back from the beginning of the talkies, the films with audio, they've always been dubbed.
Yeah. No, I know. They've always been dubbed.
Always been dubbed. But no, if you go to other countries, is a lot more modern.
Sounding.
The dubbing. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Especially even in UK, it was now with Netflix and all this is becoming normal. But
Yeah.
before any foreign film, it was in the original language with subtitles.
Okay.
Even today, if you foreign language films in UK, when you go to the cinema, they're never dubbed.
I mean,
They're always in the original language. In Italy, everything is dubbed.
I mean, yeah, no, it makes sense because obviously, like, yeah, if you were like live in like Japan and you want to watch like an American film, like you would obviously it would be dubbed. Like it's normal nowadays. Like I don't understand why you're getting that. What?
Because I'm talking about an era in the 80s and 90s when it was really normal in Italy, but not in UK.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Like,
So the dubbing on the films is something new that came with Netflix, with streaming services.
Really? I thought dubbing has been like a thing since like.
No, in UK, any foreign film, it was always in the original language. And in the cinemas, even today, you can go to any cinema to watch an Italian film, a Korean film, a French film, a Spanish film.
Yeah, no, it's always dubbed. Well, I'd say either subbed or dubbed.
It's always subbed.
Well, I mean,
then when you move into Netflix, then you will find the option.
You know, I feel like we're digressing less into like anime music now, and more just like subs and dubs. Okay, no. Here's the thing. That's an interesting topic because subs and dubs in anime is also like quite a general topic to discuss about because
We discuss all the time, but I don't think it's gonna be really thrilling.
I mean, yeah, no, because like all there really is like there's always like a constant back and forth as to what people like prefer to watch, like whether they either prefer like the original Japanese or they prefer watching in their own native language, essentially.
That's where I was going. That was the whole point. Yes. So down in the 80s, why there are all of these Italian titles from the openings?
Yeah.
Because everything was dubbed. So
Yeah,
it is not.
even a title name, like you said before.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, like Captain Tsubasa, like only renamed to Oliver Benji.
Yeah. So that was the point of what I was trying to bring forward. Is like we shouldn't be surprised if they did an Italian version, or probably is a completely different song altogether of the opening, because the whole thing is been Italianized.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you're not just
even part of the story, as we discussed before.
No. Like I would say, obviously, you will find that idea, that method to be very common in mostly English-speaking anime. Like especially like there are some moments in dubbing where they, for some reason, integrate like some political subbing in this, and for no reason, and obviously that got some controversy. And henceforth, like nobody likes it when they do that, because like, no, get that shit out of there.
Oh well.
Well, yeah. In any case, I mean, God, I feel like we've been like going like crisscross roads. And,
It's been a really strange episode today.
Yeah, at first we were just strictly talking about anime music, but now we've just divulged into like.
Yeah. Because probably it's because we went back to the opening, and we were trying to explain or to justify why is there no in Japanese? What was exactly why there was the need to to create a completely new, because doesn't come free. Someone has to do it. Someone has to write it. Yeah. Someone has to compose the music.
Yeah,
someone
exactly.
has to. It needs to be recorded. So it is not something that comes cheap.
Yeah, no, I would say, but the thing is, even despite that, there are some, obviously, most of the people that I hear talk about anime for a living, they grew up on like the anime that does like English dubbed openings, and now that's no longer a thing. They do kind of reminisce a bit about how back then for most of its parts it was pretty corny, like it was kind of
They're for a child.
I mean, yeah, no, I understand that completely, but even so, like, man, like even I miss English dubbed openings.
Well, believe me, as we discussed, there was the Queen, the quintessential artist that created a lot of opening in Italy is Cristina D'Avena.
Really?
Yes, is one lady.
So one lady like did many openings.
Many, and we are talking just about animation openings, so we are not talking anime openings. She sold more than 7 million copies.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's like there are many artists. Okay,
I bet you like most of the songs she wasn't ever intending to like fit them as anime openings to begin with. They were just songs that she made on her own.
No, probably she didn't even write the songs, but there is actually a live version, and I have no idea what was the name in Japanese, but there is a series called Kiss Me Licha.
Kiss Me Licha, okay.
Yeah, and it's basically the story of a young boy. They lives with his older brother.
Yeah.
And the older brother is the lead singer of a rock band called the Beehives.
The Beehives.
Yeah, and
why do I feel like that's a real live name? Like the Beehives.
Probably it is. I don't know, but anyway.
It just sounds familiar.
Anyway, few years, like 10 years after roughly, or maybe even less, after the anime it was concluded, Cristina D'Avena, he became Licha on the live action version of Kiss Me Licha.
Damn.
Yeah, so they actually did with all of the Italian actors.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't say that's uncommon nowadays, obviously, because
we're talking about the 80s.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, there was a time where it's rarely a thing when you have like even before like I guess Pokemon was a thing,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, damn, like yeah, I would say yeah. It really
I need to find out what was the original Japanese name.
Yeah. Okay. I'm googling right now as we speak.
Because it was quite interesting,
Okay, well, how do you type this?
Kiss Me Licha.
Kiss Me.
Yeah, Kiss Me Licha it was called.
Okay, hold on a second.
This, yeah. No age.
Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Love Me My Night. That's the name.
All right. Yeah, that's the Beehive.
Oh my god, what is this?
It was a rock band. It was actually quite interesting.
Okay,
actually, I don't know if it was interesting.
This looks like something out of like a Microsoft Paint.
Which year was made?
1983.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, no, okay, I know this first image is like a thumbnail, but like still, the art style, it just reminds me of one of these Microsoft Paint looking ass, like, drawings, you know what I mean? Wait, what is this even about? Okay, so it's a shoujo manga. Okay, by Toei Animation, the same company that did One Piece.
All right.
Yeah, and Dragon Ball. And Sailor Moon.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Oh, so you know Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I did know Sailor Moon.
Oh, well, that's surprising.
No, it was a really early 90s. So.
Okay, so the main narrative of Aishite Night is essentially a love story, but has interesting and innovative elements introduced to it. Most notably, the portrayal of Japanese music scene in the early 80s. Well, that's fitting.
Was it in Japan, the group also called the Beehives?
Beehive. Yeah. Oh! The Beehives. Okay, I know. Okay, that's actually a Japanese band. Do you know the song "I Train"? Have you never heard of it?
No.
That was, okay. And
Probably is the same.
the same. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, I just remembered because the beehives in Japan, they are huge. Like they essentially like
But they're not from the 80s.
Well, no, they are from the 80s.
Probably is then.
Well, yeah, I know. Okay, let me.
We're gonna need to dip.
Okay, now we're just going into like Japanese artists at this point. Yeah. Okay. So wait. Fuck. No.
There must be a connection.
The Beehives band.
This is getting really tense.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay. Maybe I remember the name wrong. Oh shit. Yeah. No.
Next week we are gonna let you know.
All right. Cool. Okay. In any case, so just to conclude, what else have we listened to? I mean, particularly, you know what's interesting about Japanese music to me in general is how they manage to they tend to be the most proficient when it comes to like jazz fusion.
They also do. I know it's nothing to do with anime now, but there is also an extremely famous, really famous salsa band.
Yes.
Called El Grupo del Sol.
Do they do any?
They just do. Themes? I have no idea, but they are really good.
Okay.
And they speak Spanish perfectly.
Okay.
And the Japanese, when they want to do something, they're always gonna do it well.
Damn. Okay. I just want to point one interesting note. So there's this band called Cassiopeia, which I highly recommend you listen to. So they are essentially they pioneer when it comes to like Japanese jazz fusion. But not only that, but they also one of the main inspirations for the Super Mario theme. Yeah, no, I'm not lying. Like I'm not joking around. Like seriously, like just. Yeah, no. Yeah. But yeah, I would say Japanese music, like in general, like when you compare it to like the rest of like westernized music, they really do come into like their own identity, like not just in how not just from like the classical ways, but also how they interpret like the composition and everything. Because like
there is a really disciplined culture, and music require a lot of discipline.
Yeah, I can understand that, and honestly, you can really tell the amount of like creativity I've listened to like some Japanese artists myself, and especially like when you look at the lyrics, like what's interesting note about the fact when you listen to like J-pop, for example, while it sounds like upbeat, some of the lyrics like they're pretty much deeper than you would otherwise think. Otherwise, like not on like the same level as like in like a Western pop song, but also like it almost comes off like poetry or something or like a letter.
I don't listen to J-pop or to K-pop either.
Yeah, I know, but like when you look at I mean, honestly, when I listen to J-pop, I obviously don't pay attention to the lyrics either because I can't even understand them. But yeah, when you actually like look into the lyrics, yeah, they tend to tell something on a whole deeper like story behind it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know it's very interesting to me how like, oh man, God, I'm just trying to like think of a way of how what else makes Japanese like distinguish themselves from like the creative norm, aside from
No, we don't. I think there's anime as a culture, as an industry, is already big enough, and in this channel we are talking about that.
I mean,
so we don't need to more. We are happy.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely happy, and but the thing is that even despite that, I still wish like more people actually listen to more of the stuff that I'm affiliated with. I know I'm just bragging at this point, but I'm about how I demand you to go listen to the stuff that I like, but
do it now.
Just do it. But yeah, even so, I really do respect like the craft when it comes to like not just music, but also like everything that I have ever done, and mind you, I've never been to Japan yet, and I hope to go sometime, so I can really definitely see just how I guess like different everything is there
and unique.
Yeah, like I know I've obviously I've seen some blogs of what it's like to be there, etc. But personally I've never been there myself. So
have some of the greatest listening bars. Do you know what a listening bar is?
Yeah, I know what a listening bar is.
So basically, we're going back to what we were talking before, but we are putting two things that are really important in Japan. You know, there is lots of production of hi-fi equipment in Japan.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
mainly, okay, most people, they probably think, oh, they just do the cheap stuff, but you are completely wrong. The really, really high-end stuff, high-end production of hi-fi audiophile equipment in Japan.
Have you also forgotten that they invented the Walkman?
Yes, and the Discman. And Sony with Philips created the CD.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but
well, no, actually, believe it or not, physical media, like especially like in Japan, it's still like even in the in the outside world where physical media is somehow like a rarity nowadays. In Japan, they're still largely a thing.
But that's what I was talking to you about, the listening bars. So. And there are a few even in London, there probably some in the United States, there are a few in Europe as well. But in Japan is basically where they originated from. And you go to these places, they have the most amazing audiophile equipment. And we are not talking about a concert PA, no, we are talking about proper hi-fi equipment.
Damn.
And massive collection of music, a lot of jazz.
Yeah.
And you sit down, you order your cocktail, and you enjoy the music.
I mean, yeah, shit. Oh, yeah. I by the way, speaking of Japanese, I definitely should show you like a video of you know what the Japanese of many like popular or at least like famous Japanese artists, you know, in their own music, because yeah, I mean, I would say like not only is like Japan like very like preserved about how it keeps like the whole like a whole like physical media, you know, like as traditional thing, like people still do collect CDs even nowadays, but also as the fact that like there are still like, you know, many artists that are influenced from, you know, from many like Japanese artists, you know, etc., and how I guess I would say like more. I'm always say like up to date with like the modern, like how like the modern trends of music, but also how they tend to distinguish themselves creatively speaking.
Yeah, they always have the touch, the detail that makes them different.
Yeah, pretty much. So, anyways, I'm not sure we have anything much else to talk about, do we?
We talk about everything today here.
Well, I mean, yeah.
We should apologize that we went so many times out of topic.
Well, no, it's fine. I think
everything it was for a reason.
I mean, yeah. So yeah. Well, in any case, this is Migs.
And it was Phil.
And this is Gen XZ, and we will see you all next week.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.